What does it really mean to live in the center of fame, chaos, and public judgment? For Johnny Depp, it's been a life of dizzying highs, brutal lows, and the kind of scrutiny most of us couldn't survive. He's been the rebellious heartthrob, the Hollywood chameleon, the controversial headline, and more recently, a man fighting to reclaim his name. His journey isn't just about movies or scandals. It's about resilience, self-discovery, and the cost of living in the spotlight. Today, we're diving into the untold story, the fame that made him, the scandals that shook him, and the redemption that just might define his legacy. Johnny Depp's story starts far from the glitz of Los Angeles, in Owensboro, Kentucky. Raised in a modest household, he had no grand plan to become an actor. In fact, he started out chasing a career in music, playing in garage bands and dreaming of rock stardom. Acting found him almost by accident after a chance meeting with Nicolas Cage, who encouraged him to audition. His early break in A Nightmare on Elm Street set him on the path, but it wasn't until 21 Jump Street that the world took notice. Overnight, Depp went from small-town kid to teen idol, a role he never really wanted but one he couldn't escape. When 21 Jump Street made Depp a household name, fans loved his smoldering looks and bad boy charm. But Johnny hated being labeled a pretty boy. He wanted to be known for his craft, not his cheekbones. While the show made him famous, it also made him feel trapped, like he was playing a character off-screen just to please the public. He began seeking roles that were riskier, stranger, and often commercially risky, preferring artistic satisfaction over safe paychecks. This choice would define his career, setting him apart from the typical Hollywood leading man, and marking him as an actor who followed his instincts, not the industry's formula. Johnny's partnership with Tim Burton was a turning point. Their first film together, Edward Scissorhands, let Depp shed the teen idol image and prove his depth as an actor. His willingness to disappear into odd, eccentric characters became his trademark. From Sleepy Hollow to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Sweeney Todd, the Depp-Burton duo built a legacy of memorable, unconventional films. This creative freedom kept him artistically fulfilled and cemented his reputation as a chameleon. But while his career soared, his private life began showing cracks, proof that success in one arena doesn't guarantee stability in another. Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't just a role, it was a cultural explosion. Depp's oddball, swaggering performance in Pirates of the Caribbean turned a Disney gamble into a billion-dollar franchise. Suddenly, Depp was one of the most bankable stars in the world, earning awards, massive paychecks, and global fame. But success at this level brought its own problems. The money and attention amplified every aspect of his life, including the controversies. While Jack Sparrow made him a legend, it also put him under a microscope that would follow him for the rest of his career. Johnny's personal life often played out like a subplot to his films. His relationships with high-profile partners, from Winona Ryder to Vanessa Paradis, were tabloid gold. With Paradis, he had 2 children, Lily Rose and Jack, and for years it seemed like he'd found his anchor. But fame doesn't respect privacy. The paparazzi chased them relentlessly, and every public outing was dissected. Still, Depp often said fatherhood was his greatest role, grounding him in ways Hollywood never could. Yet the pressures of fame, travel, and work eventually wore on his personal life, leading to changes that would set the stage for future turbulence. By the mid-2000s teens, Depp's image began to shift. Reports of erratic behavior, excessive spending, and heavy drinking started surfacing. Legal battles with former managers revealed shocking claims about financial mismanagement. Lavish spending on yachts, art, and even a reported $30,000 a month wine budget. Whether exaggerated or not, these headlines painted a picture of a star losing control. The man once admired for his rebellious authenticity was now a target for gossip and criticism. Depp's public persona was shifting, and the gap between his fans' image of him and the media's portrayal was growing wider than ever. In 2015, Johnny married actress Amber Heard, but the marriage quickly unraveled. By 2016, Heard filed for divorce, along with allegations of abuse that would ignite a legal firestorm. Depp denied the accusations, and what followed was a years-long battle fought in courts and across headlines. Careers, reputations, and public opinions were all at stake. This wasn't just a private matter. it became one of the most public and polarizing celebrity disputes in recent memory. Fans took sides, social media turned into a battleground, and for a while it seemed like Depp's career might not survive the storm. The fallout from the Heard allegations hit Depp hard. Studios distanced themselves, and he lost major roles. Most notably, his place in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. For an actor of his caliber, being suddenly sidelined was both a financial and emotional blow. Hollywood seemed to turn its back, and the media coverage was relentless. It wasn't just about losing jobs, it was about losing his professional identity. This period forced Depp into an unplanned exile from the career that had defined him for decades, and for a time, redemption seemed out of reach. In 2022, Depp took his fight to court in a defamation trial against Heard. Televised and streamed worldwide, the trial became a cultural event, with millions watching every testimony and piece of evidence. Depp's legal team presented a very different narrative than the one many had heard before, and public opinion began to shift. Whether you supported him or not, it was undeniable. He had regained control of his own story. By the time the verdict came down largely in his favor, Depp's image had undergone another transformation. The man many thought was finished had staged one of the most public comebacks in Hollywood history. Post-trial, Johnny has been selective about his projects, focusing more on music and independent films than blockbuster franchises. He's reconnected with his band, the Hollywood Vampires, and taken on artistic roles that speak to his passions. While some studios remain cautious, others see opportunity in his renewed public favor. Depp himself has said he's not chasing the Hollywood machine the way he once did. This phase of his career feels quieter, more deliberate, as though he's choosing to live life on his own terms, with or without the approval of the mainstream industry. Beyond the scandals and headlines, Depp remains an enigma. Known for his generosity, buying gifts for fans, visiting sick children in full costume, he's fiercely loyal to those he trusts. At the same time, he's admitted to being self-destructive at points in his life. Friends describe him as both intensely private and deeply empathetic, a contradiction that seems to define him. This duality, the flawed man and the compassionate soul, might be the key to why people remain fascinated by him. He's never been just one thing, and that complexity keeps his story compelling. For Depp, redemption isn't about going back, it's about moving forward. He's weathered storms that might have ended other careers. And while his reputation has taken hits, his resilience is undeniable. His future may not look like the peak Pirates years, but maybe that's the point. Depp seems more interested in authenticity now than mass approval. Whether he continues to act, make music, or retreat from the public eye, one thing is certain: he's already survived one of the most public trials, both legal and personal, in modern celebrity history. And in doing so, he's proven that a comeback isn't just possible, it can be transformative. Johnny Depp's story is a reminder that fame can give everything and take everything away, sometimes in the same breath. He's been a heartthrob, an icon, a scandal, and a survivor. And whether you love him, doubt him, or fall somewhere in between, his journey shows the complexity of living in the public eye. If you were pulled into his story today, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Behind the Glory. There's always more to the story than the headlines, and we'll be here to tell it.